We begin with breaking news at 4. There is now a guilty verdict in the deadly Sterling house explosion trial. Thank you for joining me today. I'm Simone D'Alba. Roger Bentley, the former propane technician, has been found guilty on all counts, including manslaughter. Our Matthew Torres has been in the courtroom awaiting this verdict after 4 days of jury deliberation. Matthew?
Hey, Simone. So the verdict came down just around about an hour ago. We heard about it 45 minutes ago. We just heard from the Commonwealth Attorney here in Loudoun County, as well as the Loudoun County Fire Chief. Keep in mind, this was after 23 hours of deliberation since Wednesday. So we are learning now that Roger Bentley, the former propane company technician for Southern States Cooperative, has been found guilty on 4 charges, the most serious being involuntary manslaughter. The rest were misdemeanors: the unlawful release of hazardous materials, failure to maintain records, and the failure to control or mitigate the release of hazardous materials. So all of those 4 charges he is now found guilty of. And so, as we have been hearing throughout the trial, which has now lasted for more than 10 days, that prosecutors said that Bentley knew there was a gas leak when he inspected a 500-gallon underground propane tank at a house in Sterling in February 2024. They allege he did not properly address the leak and even told the homeowner not to worry about the smell of gas. About 4 hours later, after firefighters responded because the neighbors called about that strong odor, the house exploded, flying debris killing Sterling volunteer firefighter Trevor Brown. In the meantime, though, the defense maintains that the incident was a tragic accident, calling Bentley more of a fall guy. Bentley's attorneys also placed part of the blame on homeowner Kelly Woods, who they say knew the propane tank had issues since 2017, but did nothing to address it. Again, we just heard from the Loudoun County Commonwealth Attorney and the fire chief, who say they are pleased about this outcome, but also say this is just another chapter as far as the recovery and healing for the volunteer firefighter department.
The verdict was correct. There are repercussions for certain activity, and the jury found that that activity required certain repercussions. And that's why they came back with the ruling that they came back with.
We would like to thank the men and women of the jury for their time and their service, as well as the Commonwealth Attorney's Office and the Fire Marshal's Office, who helped bring this tragic case to trial. Our sympathies, our condolences, our thoughts remain with the Brown family, because regardless of the outcome, firefighter Trevor Brown doesn't come back.
Trevor Brown's widow was also in the courtroom when this verdict was read. She started to cry. Also, just a bench away from her, the wife of Roger Bentley also started to cry as soon as she found out that her husband was found guilty. Now, there was also an after-action report after this incident. There were dozens of recommendations to the fire department as far as how to respond to cases like this. The fire chief saying they've adopted or are in the process of adopting more than 50 of those. The sentencing for Roger Bentley has now been scheduled in November. He can face anywhere from probation up to 10 years behind bars. Simone?
Important, Matt, which is, how we can proceed forward in discussions about propane safety regulations. And I think this case has really brought that to the forefront. But in the meantime, so many lives have been changed by this one incident. Thank you.